Hey, what's up, Foosballers? This is Tyler the Waiver King Ward coming at you live from my garage. Hope you miss me because I'm back, regardless if you like me or not. So, took a little bit of a break over the weekend, and now I'm coming back with the Tears of Joy list, the wide receiver edition. So this is my overall wide receiver rankings with tiers involved, included. So. And if you didn't catch the first episode with the running backs, you should go back and watch that because I explain tiers and why you need to use them during your draft and how they will save you. Anyways, if you like this video, you can like it in real life. Hit the thumbs up button and you can subscribe if you want. If you hate this video, just leave a hurtful comment as usual. Tell me that I am an idiot and all my picks are wrong, and I will go to sleep sad. Anyways, here we go. S tier. So it goes S, A, B, C, D, F. Just like all those video game S tier lists that you watch. So these guys in the S tier are pretty much for me like locked in top 5 wide receivers. Like regardless of what happens, I almost see them. And regardless of injury, I see these guys being top 5. So number 1, Cooper Kupp. 2, Jefferson. 3, Jamar Chase. 4, Stephon Diggs. Because, he's Josh Allen's favorite target. And they could be setting passing records this year. So he could be huge right now. And he's going below... he's going in the next tier for a lot of people, but I still have him in the upper echelon. So there we go. And so next tier, the tier break for me is Stephon Diggs and Deebo Samuel. Even though Deebo Samuel, was the number 2 wide receiver last year, so this could change because Jimmy Garoppolo just signed to be backup to Trey Lance. And I'm a big Trey Lance believer. But the thing is, we don't know. We haven't seen him with Deebo Samuel yet. So, a couple games, but I want to see a bigger sample size. So, Deebo Samuel could be in that upper echelon, but there is some mystery right there. Then Devontae Adams, he'd be the same deal, but he's on a new team. Tyreek Hill, same deal. He's on a new team. So, all these guys would have been in that S tier for me last year. But now their situations have changed, and you just kind of have to see how they play out. And the last person for me on the A tier is CeeDee Lamb, and that's just because he's number 1 they were the highest scoring offense last year. He's the number 1 option, and I know Dak doesn't like to hyper target his wide receivers, so that is the one issue with CeeDee Lamb. Plus, my best friend Jason, partner on this channel, is a huge Cowboy fan, and all he tells me is how CeeDee Lamb drops everything. He owned him last year, and he drops everything. So who knows if that's going to be a recurring issue throughout the season. B tier, so my A tier to my B tier break is, so CeeDee Lamb and then Keenan Allen for the top of my B tier. And that's just, I owned him last year. He gets you, like half PPR, dude. It was 15 points a week. And to have a wide receiver that is so consistent is huge for me. And we all know that he is probably on the downtrend and Mike Williams is on the uptrend. So this is probably the last year that I would like Keenan Allen where he is. And, Mike Williams is probably undervalued right now. And anyways, so they got Keenan Allen, A.J. Brown, new situation. Michael Pittman, who's going to be probably hyper-targeted from Matt Ryan this year. Mike Evans, who knows what's going on with all the Tampa Bay wide receivers, but he seems to be the number 1 option. Mike Williams, we already talked about that. There's a good chance he's going to finish over at Keenan Allen, but not as consistent. So depending on if you like your peaks and your valleys or your consistency, you could choose between those two. Cortland Sutton is the end of my B tier. And, he's showed that he can be a number 1 wide receiver before with lesser quarterbacks than Russell Wilson. So he is being undervalued this year as well. If you've watched this channel, you probably know that. Or any other channel. And then so that is my tier break. Cortland Sutton to T. Higgins. T. Higgins is at the top of the C tier for me. And so these are kind of like the C tier begins. Mike Williams is like this too, but the second wide receiver that could potentially be in the top 15. So T. Higgins, Allen Robinson, and then I love Brandon Cooks. I put him right under Allen Robinson because Davis Mills is a real deal, and he's going to be better than he was last year. And if you had Brandon Cooks last year, you know he's a top 20 wide receiver. Then Hollywood Brown, DJ Moore, Jalen Waddle, Gabe Davis, who has potential to be above all these people, but you're risking it. Amon St. Brown, same thing. He has a chance to be an A-tier wide receiver if things continue on the way they do, but that's what you're gambling on. DJ Metcalf, no thanks, but he's so talented. Sometimes you just have to bet on him. And then Terry McLaurin's going to be the last of that C tier for me because, I mean, as bad as Carson Wentz is, he's probably better than anybody's had, except for Ryan Fitzpatrick, and we never really got to see that. So Terry McLaurin, if you had it before, you know he's a good wide receiver, and he's going to get hyper-targeted in this offense. They're going to be playing from behind, so who knows what's going to happen with him. And then my tier break there from C to D is going to be Jerry Jeudy, and he's the second wide receiver in a good offense, but who knows? You know, he hasn't proved anything yet. So until he proves something, he belongs below some of these promising prospects that have shown they could be, you know, number one wide receivers before. And then Godwin, Michael Thomas, Michael Thomas is probably undervalued right now. Amari Cooper, Adam Thielen, who's probably going to catch a ton of touchdowns this year, double-digit touchdowns this year. Adam Thielen could be a steal at this place right here. Same thing with Allen Lazard, man. Allen Lazard and Thielen, those guys could be amazing and catch a ton of touchdowns, but it's all unknown right now. I mean, unknown with Lazard because, you know, we haven't seen him be a number one wide receiver for Aaron Rodgers. And unknown for Thielen because he's been kind of unhealthy. I'm a Vikings fan, and I love Adam Thielen. But, you know, the writing was on the wall, and let's see if he can come back from that. Juju Smith, I would have had up by like Allen Robinson almost because I really believed in that, you know, I was listening to, I forget which quarterback on this Rich Eisen show I was listening to, but he was explaining why the new receivers could replace Tyreek Hill, and one of those reasons was Juju Smith and his second reaction. You know, they run a route, and then the second reaction is, you know, was what Big Ben really capitalized on. Like, he has a good instinct to find the open spot on an unplanned route, and apparently that's what Patrick Mahomes is all about. So if Juju's healthy, he could be a huge steal, but that, you know, he's getting his knee drained constantly, so you don't want to bet on that. Rashad Bateman, D. Hopkins, Elijah Moore, who could be awesome, and then Robert Woods, who could be awesome. So there's some potential in this D tier at the end of your draft. And then here we go to the F tier. The break here is from Robert Woods to Darryl Mooney for me, and they're pretty much equal to me, but I believe in, you know, Ryan Tannehill way more than I believe in Justin Fields, so that's the issue there for me. F tier, so you got Mooney, Devontae Smith, hyper-talented, but you got Jalen Hurts throwing the ball, and you have A.J. Brown there, and I believe in Dallas Goedert, so he could be the third option, even though he's super talented, which is crazy. Brandon Ayuk, who could be awesome. Chris Olave, who's probably going to be one of the top, I mean, he's going to be the top rookie wide receiver this year, maybe, because you got Jameis Winston throwing the ball. They're going to be playing from behind, and he seems to be good in the preseason, so if you're paying attention to that. Hunter Renfrow, who's going to be consistent. And I put Kadarius Toney there because he's got so much potential. Even though he's battling this hamstring thing, they're going to be playing from behind, and there's a chance he gets hyper-targeted in that offense. And we don't know with Bevel, the new head coach, how that offense is going to be running. And then my undrafted, my last tier is like the undrafted tier. So after Kadarius Toney, it's just kind of like you're just drafting up potential. So Sky Moore, Trey Burks, Lockett, just because you got to put him in there. Kirk, there's huge upside with Trevor Lawrence. Julio Jones, George Pickens, who looks like a beast in preseason, but he's a rookie, and he's going to have, you know, who's going to be throwing on the ball this year, who knows. Chase Claypool right after that, who's hyper-talented, but I believe in George Pickens right now over Chase Claypool. MVS for, Patrick Mahomes, who knows what he's going to be. Wilson, the rookie for New York. I like Elijah Moore because I've seen it before, but, this guy's a top draft pick, and they might be forcing that issue. And then Jarvis Landry, and then I was super huge on Christian Watson. He's my last dude that I have even on this tier list. And if you watch highlights of that guy, he was like 6'3", the fastest, strongest guy ever. But he just runs straight lines, you know, and but he was going to be on running straight lines for Aaron Rodgers, which is a big deal. But he's been injured all the way through camp, and in general, you do not want anybody who hasn't been in camp, especially a rookie, because the chances that they're going to be producing, you know, their rookie year and helping your fantasy team is pretty low. So, anyways, that is the Tiers of Joy list from the Fantasy Foosballers for wide receivers. So, I'm going to be doing a tight end one here, probably the day after tomorrow, and I should be doing these every other day. We've got our draft coming up on Saturday, so that's a huge deal for us, and I'm sure there's a lot of other drafts coming up for you guys on this weekend as well. So anyways, thanks for watching this, and don't forget to like and subscribe or to hate me. So I will talk to you guys later.